Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And I'm back with part 2 of What If Naruto Was the Father of Nature, guys. Part 2. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 more channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode. Let us begin now, guys. So, the last part we left off, we were introduced to a young Kushina Uzumaki as she was tending to her garden. In that biblical moment in the vast, unknown universe, something catastrophic took place. Something that would change the course of history forever, something that would redefine history as it was. Unknown to her, she was pregnant with one child. However, after another weekly checkup, the doctors found themselves unable to truly explain what they came across because she was now having 2 children. They were sure that they did not mistake anything at all. This was a very special situation given who she was married to. So for them to make this big mistake, they were rather shocked by it, unable to fully explain. However, time went by splendidly, and there was no complications or no problems, but when the final day arrived, when it was time, something tragic took place. A man had attacked the village, removing the 9 tails from her, threatening her kids. Thus, the 9-tailed beast rained down an attack on Hidden Leaf Village. However, Minato Namikaze and Hiruzen Sarutobi stepped in to fight the beast. They were able to push it back, and when the time did come, Minato was about to make the ultimate sacrifice. But instead, it was Hiruzen Sarutobi that stepped in. He tried to seal half and half in both boys, but when it came to Naruto, the seal rejected. The chakra rejected. It was forced to where the containment was, as a power flew into Menma, making him withstand the entire 9-tailed fox. But given the specialty of this seal and the Reaper Death Seal that was blend with death, it was able to contain and hold said power. Thus Menma got the whole 9-tailed sealed inside of him. Kushina was about to pass away as she just wanted to say goodbye to her children. But something happened though. Nuto started to cry for the first time, as a green energy came from the plants and from the ear and flooded into Kushina. And she survived. It was her miracle child that saved her life. To this day, they had no idea. Thus, we skipped a few years into the future where Menma was challenging Naruto, as we get to learn about their life. Menma was serious like his father in most situations, but he knew how to relax as well. But Naruto was fully relaxed. He enjoyed the environment, he enjoyed nature, he enjoyed lying around and not doing much. That was a big thing when it came to him, as Naruto had many people that know him rather well due to his inviting and comforting presence. He also had a rather good friend, her name was Sadara Uchiha, She was the youngest child of the Uchiha leader, which was Fukaku, and then you had Itachi Uchiha. There was a problem that spanned in the past, but due to Minato being there to reject Danzo's proposal, the Uchihas sided with the Hokage because he gave them something that the rest of the village seemed to have forgotten. He gave them trust, as most people seem to have forgotten that they were a part of this village just as everyone else. Thus, everything was going good for the children until they decided to learn something different. Due to their fascination, Sadara, wanting to break out of the light that was her brother and become her own person. Same for Menma in a way as well, as he wanted to become stronger, so they dragged Naruto along with them. Unfortunately though, there was a play that was taking place at that time, courtesy of one Danzo Shamura, who wanted to do some rather underhanded things in the meanwhile, but also wanted to truly see the depths of the power that was within the children, and maybe even use it against Minato, claiming that the seal was defected and that he was putting all of them in danger. Due to Minato stripping away most of his power, after all, he wasn't dealing with Sarutobi Hiruzen anymore. However, once Naruto saw the people that he loved around him getting hurt, he lost it. For the first time he felt actual rage, and thus, the entire world seemed to feel it as well. The environment, nature itself seemed to be stirred with the awakening of Naruto rage. He annihilated them without hesitation. Not that he possessed the experience or strength, but it was the environment that came to his aid and eliminated all of his foes. When waking up in the hospital, Nuto was worried for his brother and friend, but they were fine. Naruto was questioning a lot of things, not being someone to truly ever want to hurt people, but he did not feel sympathy for those because they tried to hurt the ones that he loved. After speaking to his parents and a few others, Naruto was able to relax knowing that he did so to protect the ones that he loved. So yes, that horrible feeling was going away. As the time passed, Naruto was getting stronger, as most people started to pay attention even more to him, as we find Menma getting a bit jealous of everything, due to Menma even having a crush on Sadara, but she only seemed to care for Naruto in that way. Or perhaps he just didn't know, unaware to Menma, that he was being targeted by something as well. It seems like the whole biblical event that took place was destined for these two boys. What would it bring? Well, that was where we left off, so you guys just have to sit back, relax, and yeah, enjoy guys. I hope you do. Remember, link in description, so let's begin this now guys. We begin this new episode within an unknown time, on an unknown planet, where two people were fighting within this mass destructive area. Surprisingly, Menma was there. Yes, confused as he was, Menma was standing there, not quite understanding what was going on. He gazed out into the vast distance as he saw one of the individuals. He was unable to make out his face, but he had long, flowing white hair. He had protrusions that came from his head, but that was all that Menma could see. With a single wave of his hand, the earth around him exploded upwards, forming into meteors that were so large as they launched through the sky. The one that they were launched towards held his hand out, and there was a wave that reduced him to rubble. Before he held his hand up, each pieces that were suspended in the air, which was thousands, he clenched his fists as they combined together, turning into a massive, colossal piece of earth as he launched it, causing a huge explosion. When it did touch the earth they were standing on, it seemed to rupture the entire planet itself. Menma watched as everything below his feet exploded. However, he was grabbed by the white-haired individual. He whispered in his ears, as Menma heard it rather clearly. Such power is within your grasp. Menma jumped out of bed, looking around rather confused, taking deep breaths as he realized that it was just a dream. The problem was, this was not the first dream that he's had like this. Making his way to the kitchen as he went to get some water. As he got a cup and poured some water in, he stood there as he was drinking. That is when he noticed Nuto. Nuto was lying on top of the fridge, with an empty bag of chips in his hand, a glass of water balanced on his stomach. Menma sighed. It seems like he got hungry and came downstairs. Why the hell was he on the fridge though? Sometimes Nuto did things that just causing Menma to shake his head. He jumped up as he got the glass, knowing that it would break. Hey, wake up, he said. However, Nuto was still sleeping. Hey! He shoved him, causing Nuto to stir slightly, as he turned and rolled off the fridge, only to land on his feet. He rubbed his eyes as he looked around. He looked at Menma, before just walking off back to his room. He tended to fall asleep in rather strange places, due to his rather relaxing nature of simply being comfortable in places that should not be comfortable. A lot has happened, a lot since that day. As Menma looked down towards his hand, he saw something rather strange. It has been there for some time now. A strange black diamond was in the center of his palm. A diamond that he wasn't quite familiar with. It was soon after Naruto had saved them from those monsters, eliminated them, on the day that he felt so weak and useless. This diamond had appeared due to him not wanting to run to his parents for every little problem, his own arrogance and his own belief that he could handle it himself. He's been keeping it to himself. However, so far there hasn't been any side effects or any problems, so he doubted it was anything bad. But he could not wipe it off or remove it. For what reason, he did not know. Nuto has been getting stronger. Stronger than him. So much so that their father had changed everything when it came to the graduation. Well, for Nuto that is. He was different, special, and he needs special teaching. Menma was jealous of that, of course, believing that he should be the one to receive such teaching. His father informed him though that his mother was a previous Jinjuliki, and Jiraiya was a seal master as well. So if there was anyone to help him with controlling the power of the Nine Tails, it would be them. And his sensei would be more than capable to handle the situation when it came to more than one. However, for Naruto it was different. He's never known his father to play favorites, not even once. However, a part of him knew that Naruto was different, with the things that he can do. Something also seemed rather wrong, like there was something their parents weren't telling them about Naruto. But Naruto did not seem to know either. Strangely enough, as Naruto was learning to read people from the emotions that he get from them, he could not read Menma. Menma believed that it was because they were brothers, or maybe his will was stronger. He did not quite know. But Naruto could not read him. Not to say that Naruto could read everyone. You had some people that were good at concealing their emotions. And just like anything, Naruto had to learn to master this technique. But it wasn't just that. There was also many more as well. Jiraiya has been by a lot. He's also taken Naruto to Mount Miyaboku. There wasn't much information that was given to them, but Menma could see that something was wrong. The way his parents were acting. There was something that they weren't telling them, and they didn't know why. Whenever he voiced this to Naruto, he simply told them that there was nothing to worry about. If they were in any danger, if he wasn't in danger, they would have informed them. Naruto was so much easygoing than most people. Quick to believe people, quick to understand people pain, quick to defend those that might be wrong in situations. However, on that day, He put down those enemies without hesitation. Was it because of the love that he felt for them? Him and Sadara. Speaking of her, Menma has liked her for some time now. She was one of the only girls in the class that she wasn't a fangirl like the others. She was strong, not only physically but mentally as well. And he's known her since he was a child. He liked her. However, he's never been able to actually say that. And Menma wasn't really a shy person, but this was different. He wiped his face as he made his way to bed. He was still tired and it was still early in the morning. Menma sighed as he found Naruto sleeping in front of his door. He had fallen asleep on the way there. Sometimes Menma really wonder if he has narcolepsy. He grabbed Naruto and dragged him from the door as he went and threw him on his own bed before he made his way to his room and lie down. He didn't have any more dreams that night, so that was good. Time skip. A brown-haired man was making his way. He was looking around trying to find the boy who had wandered off. Finally though, he found him. However, he almost jumped out of his skin when he saw where the boy was. The brown-haired man, he had a face protector like the second Hokage. His name was Yamato, a special individual, a special jonin from Konoha. And his target at hand was Nuto Namikaze. Nuto was playing with a couple of baby bears. Yes, you heard that right. But despite them being very young, they were extremely big. The mother bear, a ferocious, ravenous creature that would rip anyone apart for harming her children, was seated right behind Naruto as he lay on her fur. Yamato was rather perplexed by how calm the bear seemed to be, given the fact that this was their mission. This wasn't the first time that they've been out of the village. Their mission was to investigate the bear attacks. The people within this small village did not possess the strength or power to stop the beasts. And the bear has been traversing through their small little town, attacking people randomly. It was surprising that no one has gotten killed so far, and it was their job to get rid of it or relocate it. So yes, here they were. Nuto had snuck off, finding him right in the middle of, the ferocious animal that seemed so calm. The moment it saw Yamato though, it started to get angry. "Easy," said Naruto, raising his hand as he rubbed the bear fur. "He's a friend." The bear seemed to understand Naruto, despite not speaking the same language. What the hell? Naruto got up, one of the bear cubs, following him as he made his way towards Yamato. "Sorry about wandering off, Sensei," said Naruto. His father felt it best that Naruto was tutored by one person. No team, someone that can truly focus on Naruto, because it was clear that Naruto was not normal. He literally affected the environment when he fought that day. But it wasn't only that. Since then, he's been learning a lot about himself. For one thing, Nuto possessed all nature elements, something that should be theoretically impossible. Yet, here he was, living proof. Yamato specialized in certain areas, as Minato and Kushina believe that Nuto possessed a certain Kikigenkai that they've never heard about before, that allows him to do what he can do. Nuto was brought to Mount Miyaboku by his godfather Jiraiya. It was the first place that Nuto felt so full, so rich. The environment was so wonderful there. However, they have to keep in mind that Nuto could read emotions, while not everyone's. Nuto could tell that something was wrong. However, he was too nice of a person to ask for something when he knew the person didn't want to exactly tell him. He would simply wait until they were ready. After all, they were his parents, and he trusts them without a doubt. However, his father and mother has been giving off strange emotion of worry. When it came to him, even Jiraiya felt worried as well. Naruto could feel it. However, he was fine, and he didn't feel sick or anything, so he supposed that he would just wait until they were ready to tell him what was going on, so he would give them time. He met Yamato not too long ago, after the graduation test, which was extremely easy for someone like him. You have to remain in thought that Naruto was trained by his mother, his father, and every now and again Jiraiya when he came by. Despite not being one for the hectic training, there was still a lot there to unpack. Same for Menma as well. Yamato was honored to be given the position to train Naruto. After all, he was the son of the Hokage. He was very much honored, and with having one-on-one, Yamato would be able to better utilize Naruto's talents to try to find out everything instead of splitting his attention between two others. And Yamato was new to the whole Jonin thing, so yes, that was a big plus as well for the both of them to learn. Minato seemed to know exactly what he was doing. When Naruto informed Yamato that one of the cubs were taken, Yamato was confused. How did Naruto know that? "Oh, she told me," said Naruto, pointing towards the bear. He looked at Naruto strangely. "It kind of sounds weird, yes, I know, but I can kind of understand what she's saying. The reason why she's been going through the village, one of her cubs is missing. The people mistake her actions and started to attack, believing that she was there to harm them. She was simply defending herself," Naruto said, stepping towards the bear. As he wiped his hand down on its fur. "Don't worry, I'm going to get your cub back," he said, as he placed the other one within the mother's side. He made his way back towards Yamato. "I think I can find out where they are." "How?" Yamato said. Naruto sat down as he closed his eyes. He did not know how to explain it, but the trees, the earth, it had this residue that it gives off. Most would think that it was just that, but for Naruto, he could hear it. He could understand it. As his eyes were closed, in his mind there was an imprint of the small little cub. He watched the faceless individuals because he did not quite know how they look kidnap the cub, following the scent. These bears were special. The small little cub had wandered away and it was nabbed. Given the size of them and they were just born, they were really special. Naruto made his way, Yamato following behind him. The both of them found themselves a distance away from the small little village. They hunkered down as Yamato used binoculars to spy down there on them. "They're poachers," Yamato said. "There are a lot of countries in this world where people worship all sorts of rare and exotic animals. But you have some people that take them and sell them for eating and other uses, trapping them and using them. Some of these animals even possess special qualities, maybe from their blood, their tears, or something. Given the aspect that everything around them living is born with or coursing with chakra, so yes, most of them were special." "The cub is down there," said Naruto. Yamato scouted the area out, identifying the members down there. None of them seemed to be that much of a threat. As both him and Naruto made their way down there in silence. This wasn't their first mission, so Yamato had a brief understanding of Naruto's skills. But Naruto seemed to be growing at an extraordinary pace, which keep him continuing updating his own mind and understanding of what Naruto can do. Arriving, Yamato gave him the signal. Nuto brought his hand down on the ground as the ground opened up, pulling three of them down in it. The ground then proceeded to close up above their head. It did not squish them, of course. It simply locked itself above their head. Most of them were wanted all over due to the activities that they've done. The ground behind Naruto opened up as they were pulled out. Yamato knocked them out as he tied them up. With that, they ventured deep inside. He gave Naruto the go-ahead. Leaping from the top layer, he came down and knocked one out, pulling him up. Another one was surrounded by wooden vines, and he was pulled into the ground. Naruto made his way as he came across a rather large, open area. Whatever this place was, it seemed to have been here a very long time. Perhaps a bunker during the war or something. There was many cages as Naruto saw the cub. But not just that he saw, all sorts of other animals. They all looked so afraid, looked so scared. He even saw a special tiger. It had white fur and blue eyes. Naruto sat down, calming himself, as he did the same thing that he did with the trees and the bears from earlier. The animals felt it. They all looked at him. The young cub smelled Naruto, smelling his mother on him. That is when they started to rustle up noises as two of the men entered as they saw Naruto. Wasting no time after all their operation was something that was quite wealthy for them. Running in, Nuto jumped up, flipping himself above the first that tried to hit him with a pipe. Nuto flipped on the back of the second, who attacked his own friend. Nuto jumped off as he landed on one of the cages. He flipped down, making his way. They both had him in their sights. They ran towards him as they swung their weapons in their hand, if you could call it that. Nuto pushed off the ground though, as he kicked them in the back of their head. Their heads slammed against the cages as they staggered back. He rolled and knocked their feet from underneath them before slamming his hand down on their chests. He dropped them in the ground as they both were knocked unconscious. "Don't worry," said Naruto. "I'm going to free each and every one of you." Naruto created a dozen clones as they went on removing the locks. Naruto picked the small bear in his hand up. When he stepped outside, he saw Yamato standing there with all of the thugs and the poachers defeated. Moments later, the young bear jumped into its mother, rubbing its face against his mother that seemed to be so happy. It reached down, like Naruto was the animal, patting him on the head. However, that was a way of it showing it thanks. Naruto smiled at the little family as he watches the mother bear went off, with the cubs following behind. The people of the village thanked them as they were no longer going to be plagued by the bear. With that, another successful mission done. Time skip. Team 7 was requesting backup on their mission after their C turned into a A rank. Given the phenomenal updates that Minato has been receiving, not to mention with Yamato there as a backup, he should be more than enough with Kakashi to handle the threat, while Nuto should be there to help the other genins. Minato thought it best to give Naruto a tutor one-on-one, someone that could help him cultivate his skills. There was more reasons than one, as Naruto was able to merge the natures together, making a phenomenal discovery. So that is where Yamato came in, with him being the only other person able to use the wood release. Not to mention Yamato has dealt with several people that had access to the other natures already. So he should be able to help Naruto understand that feeling of how to properly merge two elemental nature together, creating a new. However, that was not all. Naruto was right, while Minato and the others did not know that he was aware, trying their best to keep it away. Upon being brought to Mount Miyaboku, the Toads said that they've never felt such nature before. It was like Naruto was giving off an environment, an entire continent. However, they were also worried as well, because it felt like his body was going to overload. Same for one when they first started to do nature energy training and turn into a stone. Minato was well aware of that, having gone through it as well, and the past couple of years had helped him to reach new heights when it came to being a sage. So yes, they were worried, However, so far there has been no side effects, or nothing to show that this was going to happen. That is why he had someone monitor Naruto. Yamato was his one-on-one teacher, monitor Nuto constantly to make sure that the Toads were wrong. Them themselves didn't quite understand, not even the Great Elder Toad. The boy was a phenomenon that the Great Elder Toad had never seen before. However, that prophecy once again reared its ugly head that was told to Jiraiya a long time ago. Within the dark, there is light, and within the light, there is dark. Those around him will be the catalyst to the future. One will seek it fall, and one would make it rise. The balance of struggle was there, for all to see, for all to understand. The Toad itself wasn't quite sure who this prophecy was about. The Toad had went into a trance some time ago. The Toad had had a prophecy a very long time ago. However, it was extremely rare for a Toad to have two prophecies in its lifetime. So that was a problem. And this prophecy was strange, filled with riddles and confusion. Something was wrong there. And Jiraiya seemed to be involved. The whole of Konoha and those around him. So yes, that was a problem. As Minato started to wonder if this had something to do with Naruto. Naruto has been special from the day he was born, saving Kushina life somehow. However, the parents were now worried about his well-being, haven't told him or any of the others yet. That include Menma. The constant question, but Minato had a suspicion that Naruto might have an understanding that they were hiding something away from him. He was able to understand people through their emotions, through the feelings that he got off of them. And that was getting quite strong. Minato has never come across a sensor like that before, that was able to dive so deep, as he could only imagine how much stronger it would get in the coming future. Time skip. Arriving towards the land of Wave. Immediately Naruto felt it. Yamato turned his gaze. "Are you alright?" he asks. Due to his high sensory ability, Nuto was feeling it. The hopelessness, the sadness, the pain. Looking at the people on the street, most of them having given up, fearing their next move, fearing the words that came from their mouth. Nuto could feel it all and he felt like it was going to swallow him. A hand placed on his shoulder by Yamato was able to focus his mind. Naruto hated to see people suffer, not liking the agony that these people were feeling. A young boy came up behind the group. As Naruto turned to see the boy extending his hand, asking for food. Naruto removed his bag and pulled something out. It was a muffin. Naruto likes sweet treats. He pulled the muffin out and handed it to the boy. With a smile, the child's eyes light up as Naruto watched him, made his way off. A few of his friends there as well. Despite it only being one muffin, the young boy was sharing it with the children around him, showing the kindness that he had even in the depths of these misery. Naruto started to walk with Yamato as he realized just how privileged him and many others were. He never hungered for food. His mother always made sure that he was well fed and taken care of. Since going on missions, Naruto started to see the true nature of the world. Usually it was something that he never really focused on that much, due to his rather aloof personality and attitude. But now, seeing this was affecting him more than he originally thought. By the time they arrived at the house, Naruto seemed rather bummed out. Knocking on the door, they heard movements inside. However, someone told him to be quiet, without opening the door. "Who is it?" Menma said on the other side, as he didn't want to open it to an enemy. It was Yamato that spoke up, identifying himself, as Menma was able to peep through. He opened the door, surprised. The two of them had gotten here faster than he originally thought. Surprised that his father sent them as well. Nuto stepped inside, as Menma could see the sadness coming from him, just by the expression from his face, as Naruto did not take on such expression lightly. Sadara standing there as well, instantly questioning, "What's wrong?" she said. Naruto looked at her. He looked rather sad, as Sakura was standing there as well. Yamato questioned about Kakashi's whereabouts. He was upstairs though, as he made his way. Kakashi was bedridden after overexerting his chakra. Upon sitting down, Naruto simply expressed the sadness that he felt for the people. Nearby, Tsunami, daughter of Tazuna, the client that they were supposed to protect, was surprised. This child had so much empathy, so much care for people that he didn't even know. She could see it on his face, how sad he truly was. Despite being brothers, Menma did not let that bother him. While Menma did wanted to help these people, he believed the only way to do so was to eliminate the threats, causing them to be free. As in his ideology, you can't save the entire world. However, Naruto tended to put things on his shoulder. But it was just due to his caring attitude. Sadara was not surprised. Sakura, on the other hand, not having that much interaction with Naruto, was surprised how truly sweet and caring he was. Naruto made his way, coming across Kakashi bedridden. It will take some while for the man to get back on his feet. Time skip. We find Naruto within the forest area. After returning back from the village, he had funds with him that he could use to purchase things there that were more expensive due to the high costing economy that they were living in. However, he didn't eat anything of the sorts. He did brought back a few items for Tsunami as well. After all, if she was going to be providing food for them, the members here were a lot more than she was used to. Yamato, seeing what Naruto did, offered to be the one to pay for it. However, Naruto's generosity seemed to take a high toll, seeing that he started to purchase things for the people there, the children and those that were in need. And things were really expensive here. Kakashi, also with a very sly tongue, speaking about his respect for Yamato, so the man would continue to be the one to pay for it. However, at the end of the day though, the people there were generous to them. They were so happy. Sakura was watching Naruto, despite being the one to even make this proposal. Not once did he take the credit or even act like he was doing anything for the, well, worship, or acting like he needed the glorification of the people. He just did it for them. She really was questioning if someone could be this pure, she thought to herself. It isn't just about being pure. As she had spoken out loud, not realizing her teammate Sadara there. Naruto just doesn't like to see people suffer. It's been that way for a long time now, and things really get on his head a lot. She said with a smile, having remembered the first few earlier ages when they were younger, when she scraped her knee that one time, and how protective he got despite it being nothing too bad, even willing to carry her back, not wanting any pain. Him being aloof and rather calm was not to say that he was lazy, but it was tied into how sweet he was. While that was going on, Menma was training, once again showing the opposite between the two. Him desiring to be stronger, desiring to be better than the enemy that he was going to face, given the threat that Zabuza had posed, and now they found out that he wasn't alone. However, lying within the field area, Naruto came across someone. The person immediately recognizing the headband approaching the sleeping child. It would be best to eliminate this individual, saving their master the hassle. However, as their hand descended downwards, it was to shake Nuto awake. Upon opening his eyes, Nuto's eyes softened. Reading people by their emotions was something that has helped Nuto a lot lately. And what he was feeling from this individual was an innocent goodness that was clouded behind some bad thoughts. However, the goodness within this person was so overwhelming, even as that darkness tried to push it away. Nuto opened his eyes. "You might not want to sleep here, you might catch a cold." "Who are you?" said Nuto, pulling himself up. "Oh, my name is Haku." Haku extended his hand as Nuto reached out and took it. "Nice to meet you. I'm Nuto," he said. "What are you doing all the way out here?" Haku said. "Just catching a break," said Nuto as he got to his feet. "How about you?" he said, looking towards a basket. "A friend of mine got hurt. I'm simply picking some herbs to help that friend." "You want some help?" "Oh, that would be great," Haku said. As they picked the herbs, Haku started to question Naruto on why he became a ninja. At first, Naruto was mulling it over in his head. To be actually truthful, he didn't want to be left behind as he saw the others his age going into this profession. In the beginning, he never desired to be a ninja. You have to keep that in mind. However, Haku told him something about precious people. Nuto had to pause in his step. "Do you have a precious person?" he questioned back to Haku after the statement. "Yes, I do. The person that keeps you going, the person that keeps you getting stronger so that you can fight for them." "You're a really good person," said Naruto. "I can feel that from you. However, I'm not sure what is this darkness clouding you. But I trust that you will be able to get over it. Because that light inside of you doesn't look like it's about to die down anytime soon." Haku was surprised by Naruto's statement, trying to question what Naruto had to say. Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. "I guess it's just a specialty of mine," he said. He also referred to Haku as a he. Most people believe that Haku was a girl, given his way of dress and his facial features, but he was definitely a boy. Haku has never come across someone so nice, especially in this ninja world. He was raised in a world with death and chaos. However, that boy was just so nice. It was unbearing. To think that they would have to fight. To think that he might have to kill him. It was hard to imagine that. Very, very hard. So much so that he started to question everything. Every single thing from simply meeting Naruto. Now that was rather bothering. It was just the presence that Naruto gave off that can change people with just his words alone. Time skips. Now we watch your son Iniri. As Iniri was playing with Naruto, the boy trying to fight him, exercises. It's been a long time since Iniri was smiling and laughing so much, but somehow this boy has come to the village and not only inspire so much people with his actions, she's seen it as well. However, her son that has lost hope so long ago, something that she's been trying to change. From one conversation with this boy, Iniri was outside, messing around with him. She wondered just who exactly was he. Why was his presence so overwhelming? Being around him was like being within a meadow. His smiling, his calm demeanor, him bringing her things to help her, knowing that the amount of people here would really be taxing on the amount of goods that she had. The boy was truly kind. There was no doubt about that. When the day came, though, Nuto was asleep. Menma questioned why bother to wake him. With Yamato here, they could handle the threat. Besides, if anything happened, Naruto would be by the house to protect them. So the team left, leaving Naruto there asleep. Menma wanted to be the one to save these people at the end. He wanted to be the one to drive away the chaos from this land. It is exactly what he has been training for, and yet Nuto has come and changed a lot of it already. But he was going to be the one to finish it all. However, getting to the bridge, it was indeed the day. Good thing though, Zabuza found himself outmatched because it wasn't Kakashi alone this time. Yamato was there as well, on a wooden bridge. Now that was going to be problematic. However, Zabuza wasn't known as the demon for no reason. Despite the both of them being there, Zabuza was still a monster. They both got caught up inside of a dome courtesy of Haku, that being Sadara and Menma as well. While Haku was good, these two were also specially trained as well, but the dome was their greatest disadvantage. Haku was moving from one reflection to another, moving at such an insane speed due to the light reflection. The both of them were having a hard time keeping up, so they combined wind and fire. Fire from Sadara, wind from Menma, causing a huge explosion. Within that explosion, Haku descended from the mirror as he landed. He saw Menma back unprotected. This was his moment to strike him down, but before he could, a thought of Nuto popped into his mind. Given the facial structure of these two, which seem a bit similar, he believed that they were both siblings. And given how nice Nuto was, ending his sibling right here and now, what would that do to him? Would that send him down a path of darkness because of his one action? He had to move away as Sadara attacked him, spending too much time debating on what to do. Meanwhile at the house, as he lay there on the bed, his eyes suddenly snapped open by the commotion. While being outside, watching her son on the pier, two thugs arrive. They grab Tsunami. She told Iniri to run, but given everything that he's already been through with Naruto, he did not hesitate to run straight in, trying to protect his mother. The thug swiped his blade down, but it hit nothing. Over to the side as Iniri opened his eyes, Nuto was standing there. "Are you alright?" he said, holding the unconscious Tsunami and the conscious Iniri. The boy nodded his head. Nuto turned his gaze, looking over his shoulder, looking at these two. The both of them took a step back from the gaze alone. However, they realized it was two of them, and they could take this brat down. They ran forward, but Nuto jumped. A blade was sent towards his side. However, Nuto moved and appeared behind them. The both of them collapsed on the ground. As they were out cold, Nuto tied them up, restraining them away from the house, making sure that they would not be able to escape. He told Iniri that he was going to the bridge to take care of his mother. He would make sure that no one else come this way. Iniri nodded as Nuto made his way off. By the time Nuto arrived, he could feel the heightened emotion on the bridge. Zabuza was bleeding from the shoulder and the arm. Yamato had a slash across his right arm going down towards his side, moving across, courtesy of Zabuza's large blade. Kakashi had an X scar on his chest, cutting through his vest but not completely, tearing into his flesh. So yes, despite the extra help, despite Zabuza looking like he was going to lose, it seems like he wasn't going to leave the both of them unscathed. As for inside of the dome, Sadara, Sharingan had came to life. Her need, her desperation to protect her teammate and herself, and to come out of this alive. She refused to die here. Thus, the emotion triggered the awakening of her eyes. However, despite her speed, despite her advanced strength now, Haku was truly using the mirrors to his disposal. Yes, The mirrors was his greatest advantage here. Menma wasn't looking so good, having been hit on several occasions, looking like a goddamn porcupine. Yet he was still on his feet though, refusing to quit no matter what. However, suddenly water started to pour inside of the dome through the gaps. "What is this?" Haku said, gazing around confused. The next moment Menma and Sadara was enveloped due to the high water continent. The force of the water shattered the mirror and yanked them out of it. It then dispersed. What the? Menma looked up as Nuto was standing there. As Nuto squatted down, plucking a needle from his cheek. "You don't seem to be doing so well," he said. "But don't you worry, because I'm here now," said Nuto, "and I'll handle the rest." "Wait," Sadara said. "He's strong. And those mirrors. He's using the reflection to jump from one to another. Keep that in mind," she said, feeling exhausted. The awakening of her eyes and overexerting her eyes was truly taking its toll. Nuto saw them though. "Your eyes are so beautiful," he said, gazing towards the Sharingan. That left her rather surprised how casually he brought that up. As he looked down towards the both of them, "Don't worry," he said, looking into the opening of the mirror, knowing that the... Wait, Haku? What? Menma said, getting to his feet. Nuto looked at the condition that he was in. "Stay back," he said to him. "You can't fight in that condition." "I'm fine." "Damn it, Menma. You're going to get hurt. Just stay put," Nuto said. "And I said I'm fine. I'll handle this," Menma said. "I'm not done yet." Menma tried to pass Nuto, but Nuto gripped his wrists as Menma turned. For the first time, he saw that Nuto was truly angry at him. He was never subjugated to Naruto anger before. Annoyance, yes, but... "Listen to me when I talk." I said no. Nuto was done talking as he pulled Menma and pushed him back. "You're going to stay here. You're injured," Nuto said. "Sadara, help him with those needles." With that, Nuto walked off, leaving Menma there feeling hopeless, because he too knew that his body was reaching a sort of limit due to the needles slowing him down. However, he was too stubborn, and he refused as Nuto stepped forward. The closer Nuto got, the angrier he became. "Haku," Nuto said, appearing inside of the dome before Nuto entered. "It's you, isn't it?" It seems your sensory ability is greater than I originally thought." Why? Why are you doing this?" Nuto said. "We both spoke about our precious people. Mine is Zabuza, and I won't allow any harm to befall him." "Damn it. Why you? Why this?" Nuto said. "I thought you and I were friends." "How could we be friends? We just met one another. You don't know me." "Of course I do. You're a kind, gentle person that doesn't desire anyone death. Now I understand that darkness that is clouding you. Now I understand that darkness that is trying to overtake you. But I won't allow it," said Nuto. "You don't have to do this," he said, extending a hand. "Stop this, and we'll find another way." "How can you be so naive? How could you try to bargain with the enemy?" "My goal is to kill you. My goal is to kill him. Why would you even try? You're supposed to fight like them." "You're my friend," Nuto said. "And not everyone deserves to die." How can you... Haku was finding it hard to understand just who was this person. However, as he was debating that, something happened. Sadara turned her gaze as well. It was Menma. The diamond that was in his hand started to release strange patterns that flooded over his right arm. "Enough of this," Menma said, getting up, the needles falling out of him. "Every single time, acting like you're the better one. Like I don't have a say, just because of these stupid abilities." Well, no more. I said I'll handle it. And I will, he said, dashing past Sadara. She was shocked by his speed, never witnessing such speed from Menma before. He blitzed past Naruto as Haku tried to move back, but Menma hit Haku so hard that he broke through his own mirror, due to Haku dropping his guard while speaking to Naruto. Knowing that Naruto wouldn't attack him, it was a gut feeling. Menma did not give Haku the chance to get back on guard. Another punch completely shattered the mask. The strange black markings start to advance up his arm. Menma rushed in and delivered a gut punch before slamming Haku down into the ground, before kicking him straight into the railing. Haku was in agony as he clattered back. Menma pulled a kunai out and brought it down, but Naruto gripped his wrist, stopping him. Enough! He's down, said Naruto. Menma looked at Naruto with such rage in his eyes. He swung a fist in Naruto's face. However, Naruto caught it and threw him off. What the hell is wrong with you, said Naruto. Why are you attacking me? Menma threw the kunai straight at Naruto, but Naruto weaved. Menma rushed in and delivered a punch right in Naruto's gut, before delivering an uppercut stunning Naruto. He then threw his other fist forward. This time though, Naruto caught it, before slamming his skull into Menma's, headbutting him as Menma staggered back. I'm not going to fight you, said Naruto. Cut it out. Menma was getting more angrier as Naruto noticed a mark on his arm, advancing. It then started to glow, a strange whitish glow, as Menma seemed to be getting more and more stronger. He dashed forward as they traded blows. Each blow that he threw Naruto deflected or caught, until Naruto decided to cancel out his punch by throwing a fist as well. When their fists eventually collided, a strange mixture of their forces combined, creating a little rupture that threw the both of them away. Naruto crashed on the other side, Menma crashing back hard. As Menma lay there, his eyes focused as he saw someone standing in front of him, once again with that long white hair. His mind seemed to focus as the mark started to pull back into the diamond in his palm as he got to his feet. I'm not gonna fight you, said Naruto, stepping towards him when he noticed the difference. Are you okay? He asked, as Menma looked towards his hand, surprised by his strength a moment ago. Yeah, I'm fine. Then why the hell did you attack me, said Naruto. That is when Naruto noticed a diamond in his palm. He grabbed Menma's hand. What the hell is this? Menma refused to answer. Menma, he shouted. That is when Sadara came racing over to the two. What the hell is wrong with you two? Why are you fighting? She said. Something is wrong with him, said Naruto. What is this? He showed her, thinking that she would know. I don't know, she said, as Menma looked rather nervous, but Haku was getting back up as he pulled his hand away. Naruto turned. Haku, wait. We still don't have to fight, said Naruto. Thank you, Haku said. Naruto was confused. You're a wonderful person, Haku said to him. And I thank you for stopping him, because it seems my life can be useful in another way. And you're right. It might have been just a short amount of time, but strangely enough, I would consider you my friend. Naruto heard it. The chirping of 1,000 birds. He knew that technique. Wait, don't tell me. Haku smiled before sinking into one of his mirrors as Naruto took off. However, he was too late. By the time he arrived, Kakashi's attack ripped through Haku's chest like it was nothing. Yamato had bind Zabuza with his wood release, and it was up to Kakashi to end him with the Chidori to the chest, but Haku jumped in and took it. As Kakashi was surprised, unable to pull back in time, his hand slipped right through. He eventually pulled his arm out as Haku's corpse collapsed down on the bridge. Nuto moved towards it, a gaping hole in his chest. As he stood there, "Why? Why would you do this?" he said. "Why would you so easily give up your life for the man that was bringing you in the darkness?" Haku was not as dead as Nuto thought. However, his final words, set in stone, he's my precious person. With that, all the life left his body. Nuto collapsed right down beside his corpse, not knowing of any way to save him at all. He cried. Haku was someone that he considered a friend. The pureness, the goodness inside of him. Even when he had the ability to do so, he did not wish to cause them any harm. Zabuza was confused. Why was this unknown ninja crying for Haku? Why did he care so much? Haku was his tool. His tool. Those words rang through his mind. Flashes of Haku in his life, going through his mind. And now, there he lay dead. Zabuza dropped his arm as he stopped. He stopped fighting. The wood release that bind him, he stopped fighting it. No longer seeing a purpose to do so. Just seeing the action that Nuto was taking for. His so-called tool was able to shatter his reality right there and then. However, they were interrupted by Gato arriving on the bridge. Stepping back was Yamato, now seeing the new situation. "What the hell are you doing here?" Zabuza said, fighting through the pain. "Isn't it obvious? I'm here to finish a job that you clearly can't handle." As the mist cleared away, there was so much man behind him. A smirk on his face. "Oh, what would you know? That little shit is dead," he said with a little chuckle. "Huh, I wanted to be the one to kill that little brat of yours for breaking my arm. Well, it doesn't matter anymore now, does it?" Gato said, laughing, mocking Haku's death. The situation had changed, Yamato realized. As he proceeded to drop the wood release, Gato desired to kill them all now. However, Zabuza was exhausted. He couldn't fight those men, nor could he fight anyone else. His arms were already messed up from the battle. And he was weakened, severely so due to the both of them. So yes, he stood absolutely no chance. However, insulting the one that he's come to care about. The man that put those people through agony, the man that started all of this. The sky above them got dark. It was midday. So yes, as the dark clouds gather, Menma and Sadara gazing up towards the heavens. Sakura and Tazuna doing the same as well. A booming thunder clashed through the sky, startling them all. As Nuto slowly started to rise to his feet, infused by his anger, his rage, Kakashi and Yamato snapped their gaze towards Nuto. When they started to feel it, the quaking vibration in the ear. "So you're responsible," said Nuto. "You're the monster that started this." The water below them started to behave violent. 3 massive cyclones started to gather in the far distance. The wind started to blow. The earth started to shake. With each step that he took, it became worse and worse as Nuto advanced. Zabuza was startled by this. Stepping back away from the child, random shocks of electricity bubbling from him, spiking from him. What the hell was going on, he thought. How the hell could a child change the environment? That was impossible. But guys, the BN subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part and do, Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification stay posted. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.